Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of That Engineering Chat. My name is Nicole, your host for this morning, and I am really delighted to be joined by this particular series, which is focusing on the EDS show. Our sponsors, which is fabulous. They're also sponsoring the show. I mean, they're incredibly supportive. So we thought, what better way to support them back, but to talk to them about what they're getting up to. So I'm delighted to be with James again, who's a familiar face on the Engineering Chat. I think we're on a third now, aren't we? James.
That sounds about right.
That's about right. Third date, James. James is our general manager at Wurth Electronics. And then he's taken away his San Francisco back screen, which I'm a bit upset about, but he's on brand. And that is Kevin Ray, who is the district sales manager for the electronics in the UK. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome to you as well.
How are you both? How are you doing?
Great.
Well, we've just been talking about all our holiday extravaganzas and where we've been and where we're going.
Yeah, so, we've been talking about Kevin's, I'd like to say. Just have a lot going on at the moment. You know, I don't know where he's fitting. I mean, how do you fit in being this amazing manager that sells all these electronics around all these holidays, Kevin?
Well, essentially, I get one holiday, so that's all I get. So in reality, it's the one holiday for the year. That's how I manage. Yeah.
Manage it too.
Workaholic and all that. You know,
we let him have a week off.
You let off. You're so generous. They're very generous.
The key language there is let. Yeah.
So look, I mean, let's cut straight into it. How are we supporting in the current environment? That's the first question I want to ask you. I've got a few questions that I want to ask you. We're obviously going to talk about you being at the show, but I think, you know, we need to talk about the environment. It's been coming up a lot. I did a show recently, one of the Mark Allen Group shows where we obviously go along live and talk to people, and that was coming up a hell of a lot. So, you know, how are we supporting in the current environment, talking about component lead times, ongoing demand, and face-to-face business with customers, customer service? What sets you guys apart?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that the last, couple of years almost, and the months and years are starting to sort of blur a little bit with what's been going on, has been in the electronic component market, I think a bit crazy is a fairly simple way to put it, but the supply and demand curves, I'd say, have been pretty steep. So it's been a challenge for everyone in electronics, but it's been super busy, super exciting, and it's been a really great opportunity to engage with customers because the supply and demand has just been pretty relentless, and I think we've seen that with pretty much all of our customers. So we all need a holiday after the last couple of years, and speaking to customers, they all want to take a holiday as well, because it's been such a hectic time out there.
Because the component lead times, I mean, it's like, I got my glasses. It's like some kind of fly. What exactly is going on there? Because everyone's really, you know, I mean, some of my clients are just years. I mean, is this because you've got a surplus amount of stock, or, you know, talk to me about that. What's going on with that? You know, how do you get around that at the moment? I mean,
well, most of it's been driven by the silicon and the IC demand and lead time. So, like you said, there's been, due to this massive increase in demand over the last couple of years, and the pace at which particularly IC manufacturers, but all component manufacturers, can turn on their supply and build new factories, especially IC fabs, which takes anywhere from a year to 18 months to 2 years to build the technology, to build the factories, billions of dollars to create. That just creates a massive lag of how quickly they can supply these parts. So you're talking about IC lead times in some cases of 90 weeks. So you're talking several years of demand, which causes a whole kind of cascade of issues and challenges to the rest of the market.
And the ongoing demand. I mean, like you mentioned there, the ongoing demand. So there is. I mean, has demand increased? Has it rapidly increased? Because
dramatically,
boom, everyone's like, about, you know, it's always, you know, consumer and B2B.
It's consumer driven.
it's two very separate.
It's more the information,
isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like the information that we get consumer, and then we're sort of B2B. I always feel like we're a couple of. You never know if we're a couple of years ahead or behind, but it's always at a different. It's always seems to be at a different level. But certainly on a consumer level, there's all these fears, but on my clients, you're busy. You guys are really busy, right?
You're absolutely correct. I mean, people that pay attention to consumer markets are doom and gloom around chip shortages. The shortage isn't based on the fact that demand's poor. Right? In fact, it's based on the fact that it's amazing, and the projections for that demand only increase over the coming years. I think from a consumer standpoint, anybody if you've been living under a rock, the electrification of pretty much everything, even outside of automotive, which is the thing that everybody would think about, but from an energy standpoint, from a home standpoint, whatever. And so for the people in the world of electronics and PCB design and product design, it's amazing, right? And as a business that, our model is based on not only, you think about big OEMs or Wurth OEM is that type of organization that potentially services only the big players, right? People have that visibility. Potentially, that's not the reality. I manage a team of, sort of 10 salespeople in the UK. Their focus is everybody, right? We will talk to the smallest, tiniest design house that is working on 2,000 boards in a year, all the way through to the guys that are doing 1 million pieces or whatever. And that's a big differentiator for us because we can adapt to that, because we stock hold, because we operate in that sort of realm of almost, it's a stock holding manufacturer, which isn't normal. We have the ability to adapt to a market that is volatile, right? And our customers really appreciate it, right? It's a big thing for us. So, forget the doom and gloom. I think we're in a great scenario.
Yeah. I do too. I mean, that's the thing, and I think it's because I have a foot in each
exactly. Yeah. And it's very different if somebody's talking about, I can't get my EV car. Oh no. Right.
I like to feel that there's a better education now. I think I've said this
agreed
times.
Absolutely agreed.
Pandemic that, how do people think all these things exist? Like they just people do. It's a very important part of the world, electronics, manufacturing, and it would be nice if we could bridge the gap a bit more between your general consumer.
And I think it's getting there. I mean, think about how many people use Zoom during the pandemic that never would have used. I think most people would have thought of Skype as the sort of key video conferencing. Yeah. That's not even a solution anymore, really, right? No. So, if anything, that represents. Oh, poor Skype. Yeah, we'll let them go anyway. So they don't buy any components from us.
Okay, well, not Skype. Sorry, Skype. So you should be buying components from these guys. What are you doing differently in the market then? Talk to me about what you're doing differently in the market to other.
I think there's several things we do. The biggest difference we see from most of our the competitors out there, or people who are sort of equivalent to us, it's how we go to the market really is our biggest differentiator. I think it's the size of our technical sales team is probably the biggest thing. We've got best part of 30 external people in the UK who are specialists in electronics, from supply chain, technical, can dive deep into a product's customers' technical issues within their product. And that's the difference. It's the customer interfacing, it's the customer service. We can do that with real people, going to really a lot of detail, or as much detail as our customers want and need, face to face with our customers, which most of the market doesn't do. They rely more on things like standard web traffic, the digitalization, which is really important for us as well. But we're never going to change the business model for us, which is external, face to face interaction with our customers, and that's where we can really understand, really add the value for the customers, and then really sort of know what's going on with them.
And you've got, seminars as well. You do some seminars, don't you? You do a bit of collaboration with industry experts. You do a lot of that. Talk to me about that.
We do, yeah. We just actually think this week did our most our highest number of attendees of an external seminar up in the Cambridge area. Over 140 people did that for a one-day seminar. So it shows that the market demand is there for this kind of activity. If 140 people from a pretty much 20-mile radius want to attend that, then I think it shows the demand for this kind of technical speciality. And it's more than just selling components and talking to them for 6 hours about how great Wurth are and all the great components we do, but it's a lot more than that. It's really that that knowledge transfer, that thought leadership in the market that we can go out proactively and deliver to the customers.
Yeah, and going there with thought leadership. I mean, obviously there's new regulations since Brexit. The UK CA. I mean, that's there's a deadline approaching that, isn't there? I mean, I wish I could say that I knew all about that, but I would much rather one of you explained it.
Yeah, the clock is ticking on it to the end of this
year.
year.
There's a seminar in there somewhere, but talk about leadership. You guys are empathizing with customers, and you can talk about it, can't you? So talk a bit about that. I mean, what's that when's the deadline?
Basically, the end of this year is when the deadline happened. It's changed over the last couple of years. It's the B word, Brexit. Gone into more regulation and legislation is coming through on that. So it's basically the updated CE marking, which is the European standard for approvals within a product and within the electronics sector and within our area of electronics in particular. It's the EMC standard. This is the standard which, without giving the whole seminar, stops one electronic product interfering with another electronic product and everything else in the world. Not interfering with that. And then this UKCA regulation is how the UK now is transposing essentially that EU regulation into UK law. So a lot of it is a paperwork exercise, but a lot of customers and companies are not necessarily aware of that, haven't got the details behind that, and don't know how to put that through their system and certify their own products. So supporting them with that, and we're having to do that with some of our products. So we're emphasizing and doing that at the same time. So we've got the expertise and can continue to support those customers. And
that's a big deal because, like you say, I mean, the end of the year, we're all like, oh, the end of the year. I mean, that's like comes around like next week, doesn't it? The end of the year at the moment. Look where we are now. So I think that's great information. I think, we could put something in the comments below that just about that people can get in touch with you about that because it's important. Certainly, I mean, Kevin, you're interested in customers' product rather than just the components that you're supplying. Yeah. So talk to me. You're a sales manager. You're a sales manager. Talk to me about why you love working for Wurth, other than obviously dealing with people like James and myself.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We've taken my first 10 minutes away then, but in any event,
how long have you been with? How long have you?
So I've been with Wood for just over 4 years, and then electronics for about the last 10. And Wurth, I think for me, the big thing, and when we talk about sort of it's the customer centricity around their products, and that is a lot, for lack of a better way of putting it, sexier than talking about 100 nanofarad capacitor. I think it's the
sexy, the other one.
It definitely is. I think I'm much more interested in something that's going to change the world or change how people live in the world or adapt to the world than necessarily that deep dive into that design. Now, while we thoroughly enjoy that, and as James said, one of our major differentiators is my sales force is very technically capable. So those conversations with design engineers make a huge difference rather than just talking about componentry. But the real thing that we focus on as a business across the board, and that's not just our sales teams or our technical force or our internal support. It is about that customer product and what the development is around that. We talk about COVID, we were involved with the development of ventilators. When we talk about now, we're talking about biometrics and how people stay healthy and, amazing bits of clothing that are connected to IoT that can tell you your heart rate and how fast you are and all that kind of cool stuff. And
I want one of those.
It's amazing stuff happening, and you can't even see it. That's even a cooler thing, right? So I think those kind of things really get my creative juices flowing, and that's where we really can start to add value to customers, where they're trying to get that innovative portion of it. The hardware has to work, and that's where we can support a lot and deliver a lot for them, where the resource might be tight or their general knowledge might be limited. We can really add that sort of separate value to them where their product will work first go. And they can get that out to market quicker and all that kind of good stuff. So
you are like
that's the stuff that gets me going.
Company, aren't you? You invest a lot in your people, and that shows through. I think
massively.
As in, like when I say invest, you invest a lot of time and energy and empathy. It's interesting that you use that word empathy because I think that then flows through to your customers. You're then you're helping with problems, you're finding solutions. And like you mentioned there, I have some people come to me and I'm like, well, they're like, well, how much is it going to cost me? And I have to say to them, well, sometimes I have to say, what budget have you got? Because I can tell you this, I can do all of this, but you might not be able to afford it, or you might. I'm not going to judge you, but it's finding those bespoke solutions, people. You're problem solving. It's puzzle solving almost, isn't it, for people? And
absolutely. And it's long-term views. We have to spend, there's a number of customers that some of my sales force have been with for 10 years. They've gone through product life cycles of that and the development of those businesses globally. And, they're that trusted partner type of thing that I think most businesses will talk a lot about. Yeah. We actually do it. There's a number of, I could talk about quite a few, in fact, where customers would honestly say, we're not going to do that. Exactly. and when we're out there doing that, we become a part of an organization, so it's no longer sort of talking about Wurth. It's like Wurth is part of what we do. And I think that's, for most businesses, it's massive.
In the respect to add on that as well, it's almost like your customer. Our sort of internal motto is we want to be an unpaid member of that customer's team. We want them to see us as more than just a supplier or someone they'll call at some point. But that we are so close to these customers that they use us as an internal resource almost. And that's great because, like Kevin said, these life cycles are 10 years. It's not uncommon for a customer to have a product development of more than 2 years. That means we need that investment in our people to stay close to those customers and be with those customers through that journey.
And that's a job in itself, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest, time. I mean, I don't know what's happened to time since the pandemic, but we definitely have less.
What year is it?
Every day I come in and my team tell me what day it is. I just don't know because it's just blends into one. But like you say, there's a lot of hand holding involved as well, isn't there? And also what comes from that is trust, which then means that people are going to work with you more, and you probably ignite a lot of ideas in people as well, which is fantastic because the more people you talk to, the more for me personally, the more ideas you get. I get plenty of ideas from my clients. They don't even know it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I like what they said.
Keep that quiet.
Especially the San Francisco background that you did have earlier. And I'm very upset, isn't there? I might take a trip to San Francisco now. I mean, I'll come visit you, Kevin, all right? If you're not.
Sounds good.
What about your customers? I mean, what are they really, really wanting from suppliers at the moment in the current market as it stands? What would be your top tips, James? Come on, I'm going to hit it at you first. You've got a little cheeky smile there. Let's go with you. What do these customers want? And then I'm going to go for the jugular with Kevin because I know he's got the answers.
In the short term and in the last couple of years, people have absolutely just needed stock, and it's been what stock have people got available? When can we deliver it? And how fast can we produce? And can the customer produce their product, obviously, to ship into market? So, in the short term and forever, it's all about how much stock capability have we got as a supplier. I think it's more than just how much we got on our shelf today. For us, is then more back linked to that partnership bit. How can we support them where's the value in the supply chain, more than just can we supply you 1,000 ferrites, 1,000 terminal blocks tomorrow? Well, yeah, we can, but we can do a lot more than that. What do you need in the long term for your supply chain to be secure? And that's what customers want. Having seen massively long lead times in the last months and years, having seen product decommittal from suppliers, people want stability from their supply chain all the way through from that initial design concept. Is the part they're designing in on this product going to be available for the next 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, whichever the lifetime of their product is? I think that's the critical thing that customers really want now. And are they going to have a supplier that actively wants to work with them during that time?
Brilliant. And I mean, product lifestyle, understanding the customer's real requirements as well, because that's something that, is important as well, I guess.
It is. And it's like Kevin was saying, we work with our customers for 10 plus years, some of our salespeople, and it's understanding how long is this customer's products going to stay into the market? When are the redevelopment times? What are they going to need with that? What technology is going to be important for them in that time? So staying close to that as a supplier and as a team and as a partner to the customer is, again, it differentiates us totally from the market.
Thank you, James. Kevin, come on. I know you want to add something to it. You look very, you've been very quiet. I feel like
No. I'm being considerate. No, I think. I mean, no, or considered, something like that. But
yeah,
no, I think. I mean, James says it quite well. I think customers. It's been yeah. I don't know any easier way to say it, but it's been a crazy, 2 or 3 years on a global scale, just generally. And then the electronics market has been a massive part of that change. So I think they're asking, really fast. Right? And so,
and I'm pretty fast.
Yeah. And our, where we've got sort of that small to medium sized business, the UK is very much a cottage industry. So, and we operate that way in the UK, but we have a massive global force behind us, which is the size of our organization. But I think our customers don't ever feel that way. It's not like it's a huge, big beast that takes ages to move. We're quite agile and we respond quickly because we think about our customers' needs rather than our sort of requirement of having X of this or Y of that. Because that translates into reality, we can adapt quickly. And we did. We really did. I mean, I know confidently when I talk to my customers, we were very rarely the issue in the supply chain, right? In fact, if anything, we were doing it quicker or faster or too fast at times or slow us down. And we've been given a lot more opportunities of market share we never had before. And we're maintaining that. And I think that's been great for us, obviously, is from a financial standpoint, amazing, great performance, but I think equally more.
It's a very point, though. It's a very valuable point. Yeah, I mean, of course, with success comes financial gain, but also, what you then get is more that you can put into the company, is more development, and also, like Absolutely. You say, when the pandemic hit, I mean, everyone else, was certainly locally in my town, just went really quiet. I was making more noise than anyone. I mean, I was like, this is great, I mean, I'm pretty.
Yeah, we weren't quiet.
Don't go quiet. Everyone else goes quiet. You've got to get through it one way or another. You've got to get to the other side of the street. So, take your pick which way you go. But
that's helped us make the transition. Right? Yeah. It's really helped us move into what is, I'd say, it feels pretty much like pre-pandemic to me now. Anyway, I know my guys feel that way. They're out in the field. Nobody's really wearing masks. People want to see face to face. We have engagement, like James said. We had a seminar just yesterday of 140 people in a closed environment, in a seminar, all kind of networking and doing all that great stuff that we used to do. So I think it's allowed us, because we worked, pretty much our tails off during that period, and probably increased our brand awareness a lot more than we had in the 2 years prior.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think, right? You think everybody was shut in, right? But
I know
that's the way it worked. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we know you more. I mean, I think, and again, it's going back to that face-to-face contact, isn't it? That's why these shows, I'm really looking forward to the EDS show. It's going to be, I think it's going to be really good. Honestly, I'm just like, I was chatting to Simon yesterday, and I was just literally, Simon Burnell, obviously the exhibition organizer, and it just, people were, even last year at the show, just talk. That's the first time I had the pleasure of speaking with you, James. It just, people want to talk to each other, but they want to talk about solutions. They don't want, if I have one more salesperson ring me up and say, oh, I'm just sitting looking out the window. I mean, I'm very nice the way I respond to them. I mean, luckily I don't have to take many of those. But I'm just like, can we please cut to this? And I'm glad we're having less of those conversations and being able to do it with grace. Do you know what I mean? Because
absolutely,
it's important work that needs to be done, and we've only got a limited amount of time to do it because it's speeding up. And if you guys are offering solutions quickly and moving fast with the times, then you absolutely deserve the success that warrants, as far as I'm concerned. What is hot right now? That's what I care about. What technology is hot? I mean, I'm just, I am a technology. I mean, James, when he came on my stand, was just like, no. I am communicator, but technology is not my strong point. I love talking to people about technology. But what is hot at the moment in the technology world? Because I love anything that's hot. I like to have what's hot. So I'd like to know what's hot. Might not be applicable to me as a consumer, but what is going on in the world of technology right now that's hot, would you both say?
I think for us, it's, Kevin already mentioned, it's that shift of, it's quite a buzzword in sort of some areas, in some circles. It's that IoT, connectivity, smart capability, insert, more sort of buzzwords here. But for us, it's more than just sticking IoT on top of your dishwasher or whatever it is. It's how does that add value again to the customer's product? Where's the value in the market for those kind of technologies? But I think that's where more and more of our customers, or we're dealing with customers on that kind of technology. For us, we've launched over the last few years, but really in the last 1 or 2 years, accelerated our growth in that market. So that things like radio modules, and everyone will have heard of things like Bluetooth. Everyone's phone's got Bluetooth on it, but what does that mean when it comes to industrial devices? It's interconnecting, or it's machine to machine connection. And when we talk about industry, this is really interesting technology. So how do you do remote monitoring, remote sensing, machine pre-failure warnings, so you don't have to have people going into hazardous environments until you need them? All of this kind of technology is really, I think, probably the biggest new thing or interesting thing we're dealing with customers. And so Kevin's out there with customers as well on a daily basis. And I know we've got active business and active inquiries on this, say almost on a daily basis at the moment.
Yeah. So what's I mean, because you're, so we're talking about here, we've got, talk to me about SCM availability, quality tech support. You're not a one-stop shop, your visions. Talk to me a bit about that as well while we're on this subject.
Sure. So I'll pick that one up, or Kevin, you can go.
No, it's okay.
The whole way.
No. I'm trying to balance it. I think we're doing okay.
I'm trying not to take over. Come on, James. I know you can talk. We've had you in here, even if it's freezing cold. You talk.
Well, the supply chain is the big thing. I think linking into what EDS is going to be this year. I think it's last year's EDS as well was kind of a freedom show after COVID, and everyone wanted to go out and meet people. And this year, definitely about solutions and where are people, if they're emerging from COVID, who do they want to hitch their wagon to, if you like, as a supplier, for us as supply, the supply chain management, the supply chain availability. People have had their fingers burnt over the last few years, and are really looking for long-term security in that. And for us, that's where we know we can absolutely add value. So anyone who's involved in the supply chain, and that's engineers as well, they're involved in the supply chain and they're getting more involved in that decision-making process. Our customers, their purchasing and engineering teams are having to work much, much closer together and having to collaborate a lot closer, which is great for us because we can talk to both people, everyone's sitting around the same table. It's not just engineer design something random in, the purchasing person has to go and find it out in the world somewhere. There has to be that holistic view from our customers as well. So being a supply chain partner to both of those departments is something that we know we can absolutely do and absolutely add massive value to our customers.
Are you both going to be there at EDS? You both going to be there?
I think we are. I've not seen the full list yet. I know we're going through that process at the moment. So
you can come, because obviously we're going to have a few little Wurth goodies on our stand.
Of course you will.
I'd like to.
Everybody loves a Wurth gummy bear. Everybody loves a Wurth.
Gummy bears. Oh my God. I love gummy bears.
Oh, they are renowned the world over.
We've got a Roosie tree this year. So just
okay.
Get to see my Roosie tree.
I think just to add on from what James was saying, I think one of the things for EDS and for our customers that started to understand our brand much better over the last few years as we've, kind of exploded on the market to some degree, is we now have the capability to really design almost sort of 60 or 70% of a board. Yeah. And I think when, James can attest to this. He's surprisingly the old man in this conversation. He's not really, but in this conversation he is. He can attest to when Wurth sort of started its road in the UK and Ireland, and it was sort of our EMC solutions and chip bead ferrites and some snap-ons, and that was kind of what we were. What we are today is, I think, sort of mentioned a one-stop shop. We are we're a design solution for our customers. We can really change how their product works to make it the most effective, efficient, cost beneficial, powerful, all that kind of great stuff, which is really starting to change with some of our customers. There's still thousands, as James tells me every day when he's telling me to go out and get more business. And he's right. Thousands of customers out there that we work with that we haven't got to that level with, and it just takes time. You have to understand that from their standpoint. We talk about a 2-year design cycle, and I think it's just important to elaborate that. When people see us at EDS, have that conversation with us about these kind of things, because we're no longer just a magnetics organization. We can we can really get ingrained in the design of your product.
And you're showcasing new product offerings. Is there anything there that you can talk about here, or is that secret to EDS?
the big reveal. no, there's no secret. I think the fact is, Kevin mentioned it, and our vision as a business continually is to be the number one supplier on the PCB. You know, you'll have the silicon, and Wurth wants to be able to supply pretty much everything else, and we're getting there year on year. So we've always got new products. We've always got product extensions. Things like the modules and the radio modules for us, definitely a big expansion and a big feature. But product expansions in all of our passives, in all of our electromechanicals, in our automotive products, it's just getting bigger and bigger. So if you think you know, the message really, if you think you know what Wurth Electronics does, you're probably right. But there's going to be a whole chunk of other stuff that you don't know we supply and we can provide and add, again, that value, and not just commercial, sell you some components, but technical value within that whole product range.
I think I need to come on stand. I think I just won't talk on mine and just
bring it on.
Do it, yeah.
Just surrounded by they'll probably be making my life a whole load easier than I do.
Get your best red dress on and we'll go with it, right?
I don't really do red.
Wurth. It's Wurth.
Red, grey, or whatever.
You get in a panel, everyone will know you're part of it. Trust me. But yeah. Even though there's a lot. It's just Anyway,
we'll figure it out. Yeah. Let's not go there.
I'll wear something red for you. All right, Kevin?
Okay.
I'll wear something red.
You can go with one of these.
A red cup. I'll have a Wurth cup.
There we go. We've got some.
Not looking great. Don't put gold in the dishwasher is my little tip for the day to anyone watching
Probably a fair statement.
So flippant with my gold, Just,
it's been a good year.
yeah, clearly. God, no, don't tell anyone watching that list about me. But I mean, it is that why you exhibit at EDS, because you can really talk to people face to face. It is great, isn't it? It is fabulous to be able to really communicate and get stuck into people. I mean, that for us as podcasters, and for me, it's been invaluable because we just get to learn so much about the market. I mean, we have clients I've got clients that have been with me for 9 years that have been regular retainer clients that we look after in the engineering, manufacturing and electronics for 8-9 years. And we've worked as an add-on, bolt-on, marketing, PR, consultancy, whatever. Podcast was something we obviously brought to the mix. Like yourselves in the pandemic, we were like, well, how do we get people to communicate? And we were one of the first that went out there and did it. And you'll see a lot more of them, I should imagine, which is great because with competition brings more marketplace, as far as I'm concerned. The more competition, the more demand. So that's fine by me. Bring it on. But I think it's that personal, being able to really, really talk, communicate. As lovely as this Zoom is, it's really getting stuck in, isn't it, in person? And I can't wait to see your stand. Is it where are you? Where's your stand? What stand number are you? Come on.
I think we're in the same place to last L4, I think, off my head. Or comments below if James has got that wrong. So you can't miss this. It's a big stand with big red, Wurth Electronics lights on it.
So they can come along and see you on it's the 12th and 13th of October, isn't it? Yeah, I said 11th yesterday to Simon. He was like, no. I was like, oh, that's what time I've got to set up, isn't it? God. Although if you watch any of my setup reels, I tend to sit there and Suzanne and Rachel tend to do everything and I just look baffled. So, but my stand's not quite as sophisticated as yours. Mine just needs sofas and a microphone, whereas yours...
That's probably comfier than ours.
Listen, they've got to get me some comfy sofas, James. I've put my foot down this year. I'm like, when you come and see us on the sofas, they're going to be comfy. So Kevin, you'll have to come and check it out. We will.
Maybe we can integrate some wireless charging into those.
Oh my God, I would love that. Honestly.
Hey, now we're talking.
Now we are talking. Honestly, educate me. I'm always open to be educated, but I just have this thing with technology where I say it's because my aura is so big. It literally just stops working around me. That's my excuse.
Got your own frequency, yeah?
I've got high vibration. It's too hard. Technology. Okay. Oh my God, I can't handle it. Plug me in. But it's been amazing talking to you. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to add? How do people get in touch with you for those watching this, which will be coming out? Well, it'll be next week after. And obviously we'll be going out through a few media outlets as well. So is there any, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? You can, your website, What's your website?
I think, the website is pretty all encompassing these days. So we-online.com will take you to where you want to go. That has all the product information. It has more information about us as a business. It's got contact pages there. We can cover a lot of topics on the website.
I bet
you can follow us on LinkedIn as well. Wurth Electronics UK got our own page. So we post fairly regular technical updates and updates on where you can find us doing seminars and external events and exhibitions like this. And of course, come along to EDS and say hello to us there.
Talk to us in the flesh, absolutely. And it's been
much preferred.
Yeah, it's
much
been
preferred.
great to meet you, Kevin, as well. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. It's been lovely to meet you as well.
Yeah, you both got busy days. Well, I think that's a wrap, guys. I mean, thank you for joining me on That Engineering Chat. That Engineering Chat was born really through Chatty Hatter Media and Marketing, which has been going for a long time. My background was in the engineering sector. I know I don't look it, but about 30 years. And, I wanted to give a voice to engineers, all of the industry, just to get this information out there and across to as many outlets as possible. So thank you for doing that. But we are going to talk to you at the show as well. So James, you're going to have to think of something else to talk about. I don't want to talk to you.
Exactly.
There's lots. There's lots.
We'll think of something. Don't worry.
If you come on with a serious tan, I'm like,
yeah, I will. I'll bring it back. I'll let you know.
Okay, but thank you so much for joining. It's been really enjoyable talking to you. These guys are amazing. So we'll put some details in the comments below of how to get in touch with you. And yes, come along to the EDS show. See, look, he's back in San Francisco.
There you go. That's for you. On the end. James has still got the brand rolling, so we're good.
The bridge is red.
Never changed.
On brand. I mean, come on. Look, you could just get if that was me, I'd be like, just get a little WE in there and then we'd be totally on brand, James.
There is actually, you just can't see it. It's at the top there.
Okay, I like
that. One of our differential pressure sensors.
That is a good place to like that. Thank you for joining me and myself and James and Kevin from Thank you both, Electronics. And we are so excited to see you at the show. And thank you again for sponsoring this series of That Engineering Chat. If anyone's interested in coming on an episode of That Engineering Chat and sharing their story with us, please contact my team at hello@Chatty Hatter or come to EDS. And I don't know my stand number, but apparently I'm right at the front. So I don't think you're going to miss me. You'll see me. I'm pretty bright. So I don't think you'll miss me. But if you want to come along and have a chat about podcasts, either creating your own series or doing as these guys have done, coming on to That Engineering Chat, come and see us at the show. And I'm just wishing you both a brilliant day. And thanks for chatting.
Thanks for having us. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks.
See you at EDS.
See you
at
EDS.
Bye.
Bye.